Walk off of your private jet and tell me that my coach vacation on Sunwing to Jamaica is a luxury I should do without in the name of saving the planet. Don't tell me that my carbon footprint should be smaller than yours when yours is the size of an army division. And don't tell me that it's time to take action until you have taken that action yourself. I am beyond sick of climate hypocrites trying to use their stardom and their celebrity to guilt the rest of us into making changes to our lives that they won't make themselves. That's the Byline. Tonight's top story, new information on the bail hearings for cop killer Sean Wren. The career criminal shot two Mounties, and Constable David Wynn died yesterday morning after being taken off of life support. There are questions about what Wren was even doing on the streets, considering he had such a long rap sheet. Hard News reporter Josh Gurnick's been following this case from the start, joins us now from Edmonton. Josh, I know you've been hearing the questions raised by the RCMP commissioner himself, Bob Paulson. What was this guy doing on the street? We've got new information from the bail hearings, but let's start with an overview of Wren and his long criminal career.
Brian, what we've been doing is poring over the documents from the 3 pending cases against Wren before his death this past weekend. And what we found is that from the time when he was first picked up in October of 2013 to when he made bail for the second time in September 2014, he only spent 2 of those 11 months behind bars in remand. And this is a guy who had 61 convictions to his name, the first one at the age of 15 for assault. It just gets better from there. Assault, weapons charges. He then goes and he gets his bail on the September 2014 one for 2 separate cases, one in Fort Saskatchewan, one in Edmonton, both of them weapons related. We would then not hear from them until this past weekend. He would have 4 warrants against him, Brian. And the parole board back in 2006, they were blunt on their assessment of this guy. They said, quote, "The continued progression of your criminal behavior and attitude of indifference clearly demonstrate your lack of respect for the law and rights of others. The board believes that you are a dangerous person." Brian.
You know, when the parole board is calling you a dangerous person, that says something about you. And yet, as we just saw with the charges that were on screen, he had serious weapons charges against him, including possession of a stolen rifle, using an imitation handgun, and a crime. How was this guy out? I understand that there was a bail hearing in 2013 where they tried to keep him behind bars, and that didn't work.
Yeah, absolutely, Brian. So for the 2014 bail hearing, this is, for these 2 cases, one in Fort Saskatchewan, the other one in Edmonton, both involved weapons. The one in Fort Saskatchewan is where he has an imitation handgun.
Just to be clear, he had weapons bans against him because of his criminal record. So these aren't legal firearms that he has by any means.
Yeah, absolutely. In Fort Saskatchewan, he has a stolen rifle. He has an imitation handgun. In Edmonton, he has a stolen motorcycle, burglary tools, and a knife. He's not allowed to have, obviously, that knife. And yet, what we know is that though in November 2013, November 2013, when he has that bail hearing, they tried to make a case to keep him in. All right, the Crown, they say that he has a long criminal history. He's broken bail conditions before. He needs to stay in. But then, on the September 2014 case, for the 2 cases where there are weapons involved, we don't even get a Crown prosecutor. We get an Edmonton constable acting as the Crown. The defense is there by phone, and they don't even make a case to keep this guy in. They just say that they've come to a bail agreement. And take a listen to the audio.
What is the Crown's position then, please, on release?
Your Worship, we have agreed on a joint release in the amount of $4,500.
That's it, Brian. That is the only defense.
I'm going to bet that the Constable Kwan and everyone at the Edmonton Police Service regrets that decision today, as well as Crown's.
Absolutely. And the thing is, though, is that we're hearing a lot of people say that there was no way for them to know that this guy was going to go on and kill a Mountie and shoot another one. And we actually have been talking to Ed Prucci. He's one of our legal analysts here, and he says that the fact of the matter is that in Canada, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of Sean Wrens walking amongst us. These guys with just a rap sheet since the age of 15 doing these petty crimes, going in and out of the legal system. But still, it does not paint a good picture, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're just covering the facts. when you have a constable representing the Crown there, and he doesn't even try to make a case to keep this guy in when he is dealing with weapons-related charges, when back in the 2013 case, those were just for credit card fraud charges, no weapons involved, and yet the Crown still makes a case to keep this guy in, Brian.
All right, Josh, thanks for continuing to follow this. We will, of course, continue to follow it here. Jonathan Dennis is the Alberta Justice Minister. He's called for a review of how things work. Do you agree with that idea? Byline at sunmedia.ca. Let me know what you think. More to come.
All you do is click on Market.